God says, Archangel Michael says, this is about you and no one else. You must not skip this because heaven is speaking into your heart at this very moment, and you don't even realize how much is on the line. God is begging you for only 3 minutes of your time. But those 3 minutes are not ordinary minutes. They are holy minutes. They are sacred minutes that have been written in the book of destiny long before you were born. These 3 minutes are about your body, your soul, your truth, and your life. Someone has been whispering things. Someone has been talking. Someone has been describing you in a way that is not of God. And they have been telling everyone something that should never have been said. They have been saying you look like something. They have been shaping a lie around your image. They have been spreading a shadow that tries to cling to your name. And God is rising up to expose it, to stop it, to rescue you before this poison spreads further. Archangel Michael is crying out because he sees you unaware of what is being said in the corners where you are not present. He sees the rooms where your picture is mentioned, where your face is mocked, where your body is judged. He sees the conversations that break the heart of heaven. Because the people speaking do not realize that every word they speak is being written down by angels. And every lie they repeat is a wound not only to you but to God Himself, who created you with His own hands, who formed your body with divine love. Who looked at you and said, you are good, you are beautiful. You are mine. And now someone has been trying to turn your very body into a subject of gossip, ridicule, and false perception. God says, do not be afraid because He Himself is with you. He Himself will fight for you. He Himself will undo the words that have been spoken. But you must not skip this message, because if you skip it, you will walk forward blind, and the words of others will keep weaving themselves in secret, binding you without your knowledge. Archangel Michael says he cannot bear to see you unaware. He cannot bear to see you sleep while others build a false image of you in the minds of many. That is why this moment is so urgent. Why heaven is begging you for only 3 minutes. Someone has been telling everyone you look like a person you are not. They are saying you resemble someone whose name is tied to shame, tied to ridicule, tied to stories that are not your story. They are comparing your beauty to ugliness. They are comparing your purity to corruption. They are comparing your truth to lies. And as they say these things, others are beginning to believe. They have painted an image of you in the minds of people who do not know you. And those people walk around carrying a false picture of who you are. God says this must stop. God says He will not allow the masterpiece of His creation, you, to be rewritten by the tongue of the jealous, the tongue of the envious, the tongue of the bitter. Michael says he has stood beside you when you did not even know it. He stood by your mirror when you looked at yourself and felt doubt. When you looked at your body and heard the echoes of cruel words. When you questioned whether you were enough, whether you were truly beautiful, whether you were truly valuable, Michael stood there crying silently because he saw the heaviness that others' words placed on you. He saw that you could not always separate what they said from what God says. He saw you hold on to thoughts that did not belong in your spirit, and he wanted to shake the earth to stop you from believing lies. That is why God is speaking now. Why Michael is speaking now. Why you must listen without delay. Someone has told others you look like a broken shadow, but God says you look like His glory. Someone has whispered that your body resembles weakness. But God says your body is a temple of power. Someone has told everyone you look like a mistake. But God says you look like His perfect design. Someone has tried to reduce you to a comparison. But God says there is no comparison because you are one of one. You are unlike anyone else. And that is the truth heaven stands on. Do not skip this, because even now as these words reach you, the very people who are talking are gathering. They are repeating your name. They are making comments. They are adding details. They are saying she looks like this. He looks like that. Their body reminds me of, and every sentence they speak is building a false idol in the minds of others. An image that is not real, but that has the power to damage if it is not confronted. God says He will not let it continue. He says the light of truth is coming and all their whispers will burn away. But you must allow Him to cleanse your own ears from their poison. Because sometimes the hardest thing is not what they say, but what you start to believe because of what they say. Michael says you are being watched with jealousy. There is a person whose own reflection torments them, and instead of healing their heart, they lash out at yours. They say you look like someone less, because they want to feel like more. They speak against your body because they hate their own. They have told others you look like someone who carries shame because secretly they want you to carry what they cannot carry anymore. This is envy, and it is ancient. It is the same envy that made Cain rise against Abel. It is the same envy that made Saul hate David. It is the same envy that made the enemies of Jesus say he was possessed by demons when he was filled with the Spirit of God. God says, "Be still. Do not fear, but do not ignore." He says, if you close your heart now, the same lies that are being told about you will keep growing. They will wrap around others. And one day you may find doors closed without explanation, opportunities lost without reason, people distant without cause because they believed the picture others painted of you instead of the truth. That is why God is begging you not to skip this, because He wants to free you from the trap before it spreads too far. You must understand your body is not shame. Your body is not ridicule. Your body is not comparison. Your body is testimony. It carries the marks of survival, the marks of resilience, the marks of God's fingerprints. Every curve, every scar, every line, every piece of you is a witness to the fact that you are still here, still alive, still chosen, still loved. No one can reduce you to a look-alike because God made you incomparable. Michael says he has seen you cry silently because of how you thought you appeared. He has seen you stand in silence when others judged. He has seen the way you sometimes try to hide, to cover, to shrink, as if making yourself smaller will protect you from their eyes. And Michael is angry because you should never have to hide what God has made. He raises his sword not against you, but against the words that have been hurled at you, the spirits that inspired them, the demons that whispered to jealous hearts. He raises his sword against those lies. And he says, enough, enough, enough. God says, listen. This is not about vanity. This is not about appearance. This is about identity. Your body is not just flesh. It is your temple. It is your house. It is your proof of existence. If the enemy can make you believe lies about your body, he can make you doubt your entire worth. That is why someone has been working so hard to speak against it. They think they are joking. They think they are casual. They think they are harmless. But words are not harmless. Words build. Words destroy. Words create images that last, and their words are building an image that heaven refuses to let stand. God says you must rise and know who you are. He says when they say you look like shame, declare you look like glory. When they say you resemble weakness, declare you resemble strength. When they say your body is not enough, declare your body is the temple of the living God, filled with His Spirit, chosen for His purpose. He says, do not let them rename you. He says, do not let them repaint you. He says, do not let them make you doubt your reflection, because when He looks at you, He sees Himself and He has never despised His own image. Michael says the time is short. He says, you only have 3 minutes because after these 3 minutes, the voices of the world will try to drown this out. They will try to make you forget. They will try to pull you back into the noise. They will try to make you believe their lies again. That is why God is begging for this moment, because this moment is your shield. If you hold it in your heart, you will not be shaken when they speak again. If you let it pass, their words may cut deeper than you expect. So hear this now. Someone is telling everyone you look like someone you are not. But God says you look like His child, His chosen, His beloved. Someone is trying to convince others that your body is shame. But God says your body is a temple, a wonder, a holy vessel. Someone is trying to redefine you with their tongue. But God says you are already defined, sealed, written, and no one can erase what He has written. Archangel Michael says, open this truth quickly. Take it into your heart and never let it go, because if you do, Their words will never hold you again. Heaven says, this is urgent. This is divine. This is for you. And if you skip it, you may never know how close you came to letting lies reshape your destiny. But if you open it, if you believe it, if you hold it, then their words will crumble and all that will remain is the truth. You are beautiful. You are holy. You are God's masterpiece. And nothing spoken against your body will ever. God says, Archangel Michael speaks with urgency and the heavens are trembling with this moment because this is about you and only you. Michael has stepped down, shining, carrying a sword of light, his wings trembling because what he has been shown is not something he can remain silent about. God is begging for just 3 minutes of your attention because within these 3 minutes the fabric of your life can shift in ways that will change everything. Do not skip this, do not turn away. This is about your body, your spirit, your soul, your destiny, and the secret that has been whispered behind your back in the dark. Someone is telling everyone something about you. Speaking words that are not truth. Telling people you look like something you are not. Shaping a story that God Himself did not write. That is why this message has come down like thunder. It is about your body, your image, your name, your essence. God says you are not what they are calling you. You are His masterpiece. The heavens know that on earth people are whispering, shaping words like knives, using their tongues like daggers. Someone is telling everyone you look like something that is not you. They are misrepresenting your beauty, your dignity, your sacred body that was designed by God Himself. And yet, here is the shocking truth. The lie they tell is not about them mocking you alone. It is part of an old plan, a hidden shadow, an attack, not just on your body, but on your spirit. Archangel Michael has been shown the pages of this plan and he cannot hold back anymore. That is why he is begging you through this message. His voice trembling because he knows you only have a short window to open your eyes to this. 3 minutes is all heaven asks. But within those 3 minutes, eternity can shift. God says your body is His temple. It is not what others say it is. It is not what they gossip about. It is not what they slander. It is sacred, divinely formed, kissed by the breath of heaven. You have been lied about and people are speaking as if they can define you. They are calling you something you are not, spreading a description that dishonors you. But God says He Himself is exposing them. Now finally He is pulling the veil from their lips and revealing the truth. What they said about your body is a mirror of their own envy. They are speaking because they see in you what they wish they had. And the enemy has twisted their jealousy into poison. This poison has spread through conversations, through rumors, through careless mouths, but Archangel Michael says no more. God is stopping it today. The message is not simple gossip. It is deeper, heavier, more dangerous. Someone has been shaping your reputation with lies, saying you look like and filling in the rest with poison. That phrase has been repeated in circles where your name is spoken without your permission. They are attaching something false to you. A distorted image of who you are. But God says, "Child, listen carefully. No matter what words they speak, you are not defined by human tongues. Your body is clothed in divine light. Heaven knows what you truly look like because heaven formed you before the foundations of the earth. Angels saw you before you were born. Michael stood by when your soul was knitted into your body. He remembers the first day you breathed. He knows the mark of heaven on your skin. He knows you do not look like the lie they are spreading. God is begging, pleading for you to understand this right now because you have been walking with heaviness, wondering why some people look at you strangely. Why whispers fall silent when you enter the room, why you feel the invisible sting of judgment in eyes around you. It is because someone is telling everyone you look like something you are not. They are mocking your body, reshaping your name into their false story. But God says, your name is written in heaven in letters of fire. Your body is His dwelling place. Your spirit is untouchable. And those who mock you, those who lie about you are actually setting themselves against God Himself because you belong to Him. Archangel Michael says, do not ignore this. This is not a joke. This is an emergency. This is about you. This is about your body. Someone is twisting your image and it is not just slander. It is an attempt to weaken your confidence, to make you question yourself, to distract you from your purpose. Because if you doubt your body, if you feel ashamed, if you wonder whether you are what they say you are, then you will begin to shrink. You will begin to hide. You will stop shining. That is exactly what the enemy wants, to make you believe the lie about how you look so that you cannot stand in the fullness of your divine presence. But heaven says, no, not today. The lie stops here. The truth is being shouted from the skies. You are not what they call you. You are chosen. You are marked. You are beautiful in the way only God could design. The person who is telling everyone this false story is closer to you than you realize. They have watched you, studied you, envied you, and then decided to twist what they see. God says, do not fear their words, but do not ignore the warning. You must open your eyes to who is speaking this lie. They pretend to admire you in your presence, but in your absence, they poison others against you. They think no one will ever tell you what they said. But heaven hears everything. The angels record every whisper. And now God is exposing this because He wants you to be free of the shadow of lies. Michael says there are 3 stages of this attack. First they told one person. Then they spread it to a group. Now it has begun to reach people you have never met. People who carry a picture of you in their minds based on the lie. That is why you have felt the invisible weight in the atmosphere around you. But God says enough. The truth will break out. The lie will be exposed. Those who mocked will be silenced. Those who repeated the lie will regret the words they spread. Do not think your body is shameful. Do not think you are less because of what you have heard indirectly. Do not think for a second that what they say defines you. God says your body carries His signature. Every part of you is a testimony of divine creation. You are not what they say. You are who I say you are. Heaven says you are radiant. You are sacred. You are not to be compared, not to be mocked, not to be reduced. Archangel Michael says, "The enemy saw your beauty and tried to cloak it in lies so that you would not see it yourself. But now you must know the cloak is being torn away." This message is long, but it must be long because heaven is pouring everything into you right now. God is begging for your attention because if you keep walking under the shadow of lies, you will never see the full light of your calling. You must believe this truth. What they say about your body is not true. What they whisper is poison. But God is rewriting the story. Michael is cutting through the gossip with his sword of flame. The lie will turn back against them. Their words will not destroy you. They will destroy themselves. You may have noticed that some people look at you with smirks, with knowing expressions, as if they are carrying a secret about you. That is because they heard the false story. They think they know what you look like, who you are based on the lie. But God says He will scatter them. He will scatter their whispers. Their smirks will turn into silence. Their mocking eyes will turn away in shame. The same lips that lied will one day be forced to confess the truth that you are, chosen, radiant, untouchable. Michael says, heaven is recording this moment. You are hearing this because you were meant to. Do not ignore it. Do not dismiss it. Do not think it is small. It is not small. It is about your identity. It is about the essence of who you are. God says you are being preserved. Your dignity is being guarded. Your name is being defended. Your body is being shielded. Someone is telling everyone you look like something you are not. But heaven says you look like my child, you look like my chosen one. You look like the image of God. You look like light clothed in skin. You look like destiny wrapped in beauty. That is the truth. That is the reality, and no lie will erase it. God says the next time you hear a whisper, do not let it pierce your heart. Instead, remember this message. Remember Michael's trembling voice. Remember God's begging. Remember that 3 minutes can change eternity. You were given this message because heaven refuses to let the lie define you. Archangel Michael says, the person spreading this lie will be revealed. Their mask will slip. The people who listen to them will see the truth. The rumor will die. But your light will live. Your body will remain sacred, untouched. And your true beauty will outshine every false story. God says, do not fear. Do not hide. Do not believe the lie. The truth is greater, stronger, brighter. You are not what they say, you are what I say. My beloved child, I come to you with trembling urgency, not to frighten you, but to awaken you, to lift the veil, to let you see what is unfolding in realms both seen and unseen. Heaven itself leans close to you in this hour. And the voice of Archangel Michael is strong, sharp, and filled with an urgent compassion that burns like fire in the soul. God says to you now, this is about you, about your body, about the temple of your spirit that He Himself formed in the secret place before you were ever seen by human eyes. 3 minutes, that is all He is asking. 3 minutes of surrender, of attention, of holy listening. Because what is being spoken here is not casual, not ordinary, not to be skimmed or ignored. The Spirit cries out, do not skip. Do not walk away, because this is the answer to the ache inside you. The fear you could not put into words. The whispers you have. Is ready. And now the soil is trembling. The earth is vibrating. Angels are hovering because your name just got mentioned in a place you never expected. You don't know the full weight of your calling yet. But someone does. Someone with power. Someone with authority. Someone who has been secretly following your journey, not with envy, but with honor. They admire you because you didn't quit when you could have. They respect you because your light didn't dim even when it was surrounded by darkness. You carried grace in your grief. You carried power in your pain. And someone noticed, someone with access, someone who could have chosen anyone, but chose to keep watching you because your silence spoke louder than noise. Your kindness pierced through confusion. Your soul didn't sell itself. You stayed pure when everything around you became polluted. You stayed honest when lies were trending. And now this is the moment where heaven reveals the reward for the one who did not faint. Archangel Michael is not gentle in this moment. He is not whispering. He is commanding. And his voice is serious. I order you to open this urgently, because if you delay, you may miss the signal. You may overlook the sign. You may ignore the call that changes everything. God says this meeting is not casual. It is strategic because there is information, inheritance, and intimacy waiting in this connection. There is something locked inside this person that belongs to you and something inside you that frees them. You are not just meeting someone with fame. You are meeting someone with keys. Keys that open doors in the spirit. Keys that unlock healing. Keys that ignite purpose. This isn't about dating. This is about destiny. You've been asking why you feel restless, why you feel watched, why you feel like something is building in the background. It's because it is. There have been conversations about you that you weren't invited to, but heaven was. And angels were assigned to ensure the message got to you. That's why this was written. That's why you're reading this right now. Because the spiritual clock just struck. The room has been prepared. The table has been set. The calendar has been marked. And the person whose power could shift your path has already moved. They've arranged it. And now it's your turn to step forward. But you must prepare your spirit. This is not a time to doubt. This is not a time to retreat. This is not a time to play small. Your insecurities are not welcome in this next chapter. Your old fears cannot walk into this room with you because what you're being invited into requires boldness, requires awareness, requires full acceptance of who you are. You are no longer the rejected one. You are no longer the afterthought. You are no longer invisible. You are the answered prayer. You are the one heaven has spotlighted. And the person who's been admiring you is not just powerful. They are prophetic. Their intuition is sharp. Their discernment is strong. And they're not interested in appearances. They are interested in alignment. Do not be surprised if your dreams become vivid. Do not be alarmed if their name or presence suddenly appears in your spirit. That is confirmation. That is spiritual contact. Because the divine realm is making introductions before the physical world catches up. And when the meeting comes, yes, it will come. Do not let your nervousness sabotage what is sacred. Walk in the confidence of one who has been appointed. Speak with the grace of one who has been chosen. This is not about impressing anyone. This is about owning what was always yours. The meeting may begin with casual words, a message, a call, a small encounter, but don't underestimate it. God is testing your readiness. He is seeing if you will recognize divine timing when it shows up in human form. And yes, there may be distractions. There may be people who suddenly grow, jealous, friends who start acting strange, spirits that start causing confusion. But do not be shaken. The enemy always panics when favor moves. The forces that tried to bury you are terrified that you're being discovered. That's why the warfare increased recently. That's why you felt tired without reason. It wasn't depression. It was resistance. It was a signal that something was near. And now it's here. You will be amazed when you find out who this person is. When you realize the lengths they went to be near your energy, they had options, but none of them carried your fire. They had access to many, but your silence was louder than fame. You carry something rare, something the world cannot duplicate, and they see it. They know you're not trying to be known. That's what makes you dangerous. You're not chasing attention. That's what makes you magnetic. And the world needs to see what heaven already crowned. There's a moment coming where you'll look into their eyes and feel it. The divine recognition, the knowing, the vibration. You won't need to explain yourself. You won't need to impress. Your spirit will speak and theirs will reply. The world may not understand. They may question how someone so powerful would be drawn to you, but that's because the world only sees surface. Heaven sees purpose. And this is not about logic. This is about destiny. God is using this connection to redeem the years you lost, to compensate for what was stolen, to elevate what was buried. You are about to be seen, truly seen by someone who matters. But remember this connection is not your source. It is a tool. God remains your source. Do not idolize the person. Honor them, but never forget who orchestrated it. The moment you begin to worship the vessel instead of the voice, the favor lifts. Stay rooted. Stay humble. Stay focused. And when the time comes, don't flinch. Don't run. Don't hide behind old wounds. Receive it. Receive the honor. Receive the invitation. Receive the open door. God says, you have waited long enough. This is the appointed time. Walk through it. This is the final thing. You must be ready. Not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually. You must clear the clutter from your mind. Cleanse your energy. Make room in your life for what's about to enter. Because once this person arrives, things will accelerate fast. Conversations that take others months will happen in minutes. Agreements will be made. Moves will be planned. Doors will swing wide open. You will have no time to second guesses. So prepare. Fast if you must. Pray deeply. Speak only to those who are aligned. Guard your energy fiercely because your life is about to change and not everyone deserves front row access to your transformation. A private meeting has been arranged by someone with status, power, and presence. But more importantly, they've been assigned by God to see you, know you, honor you, and possibly co-create with you in a way that impacts nations. Watch carefully. Listen deeply. This is not a dream. This is not fantasy. This is divine reality coming to you now. Archangel Michael says again, I order you to open this urgently. Your time has arrived. Your path is illuminated. The meeting is already in motion. The only thing left is your response. You waited. You paused. You listened to the silence. And now the clock has struck. 3 hours have passed. And what was hidden has started to move. The air around you has shifted. The trap that was once invisible is now flickering into your awareness. The mask she wore is thinning. The lies she wrapped in friendship are unraveling. And God says, now begins the consequence of obedience or the cost of ignoring divine instruction. You are being watched more closely now, not by man, but by the spirit realm. Because what you do next will either align you fully with your destiny or spiral you deeper into someone else's manipulation. The angels have taken their positions. Archangel Michael has stepped forward, his wings are wide. His sword is drawn. The final hour has begun. God says this is where most people fail. Not when the danger first approaches. Not when the trap is being set, but when they see the partial exposure and still choose to doubt it. When they say, she can't be that bad, or, but she helped me once, or, maybe I'm overreacting. And in that moment of hesitation, the spirit of deception reattaches itself and binds the soul tighter than before, but not you. Not this time. This is why heaven called you. This is why the clock was set, because you are not like the others. You are not meant to fall again. You are meant to rise. And so now, as the veil tears open wider, God will begin to confirm what you suspected but couldn't prove. You will hear things you were never meant to hear. Words spoken behind your back, plans formed without your consent, confidences you gave her now being twisted. But do not be dismayed. Do not panic. Do not rush to defend yourself, for the Lord says, I will defend you myself. You don't need to fight her. I will expose her. You don't need to chase down the lies. I will dry the river of deception from its source. She has placed your name on the wrong altar. She thought you wouldn't find out. She spoke words over you in secret. Words of confusion, delay, defeat. But the wind of God is sweeping over those altars now. Fire is falling and her rituals, her wishes, her declarations are being returned to her, multiplied. Because what you bless will be blessed, but what you curse under the guise of friendship while smiling to someone's face. God says that hypocrisy will not go unpunished in this season. The next 3 days will be confirmation after confirmation. You will not need to dig. The truth will rise to the surface like oil on water. You will feel your spirit grow stronger as the deception breaks. Your energy will return. Your mind will clear. People who were distant will call you suddenly telling you things she said that didn't sit right. Messages will resurface. Memories will unlock and you'll say to yourself, "How did I not see this before?" But don't blame yourself. You weren't supposed to see it until now. Now is divine timing. Now is holy exposure. Now is when God flips the entire script. This trap was not just about delaying you. It was about destroying your witness, stealing your influence, and attaching confusion to your name. But now God is doing something rare. Something not given to many. He's going to reverse the trap. He's going to flip it so hard that the one who built it falls into it herself. And you will rise with clarity and vengeance of peace. The woman is about to speak, not to your face, but in circles. In whispers. She will panic. She will sense the exposure has begun. And in her panic, she will talk too much. She will reveal herself. She will send messages. She will overstep and those who once believed her will begin to doubt her. They will begin to question everything she ever said about you. The spirit she's operated under can no longer hide. The covering she had, either spiritual or social, is being removed. And when heaven lifts a covering, nothing can protect what is false. But do not rejoice in her downfall. That is not your posture. Your posture is stillness. Your strength is silence. Your reward is acceleration. While she is exposed, you are elevated. While she is unraveling, you are rebuilding. While her world shakes, yours stabilizes because you obeyed. Because you chose God over comfort because you believed the warning. And now heaven is preparing a table, a banquet in the presence of every hidden enemy, a public display of favor that no voice of gossip can contradict. God says this was the last time she would get that close. I allowed her to approach to expose what was unhealed in you. The part of you that still seeks validation from those who don't deserve access, but now that part is being healed. Now that door is being closed, you are not a victim. You are a victor, and this woman, she will become the testimony, the proof that when I warn my child, it is not out of fear but love. Do not fear her next move. Fear cannot live where faith stands. And you have stood in faith. The storm came, but you stayed still. The trap was built, but you waited. And now, as the smoke clears, you will see what was never meant to stay. You will also see what God preserved for you. Because the moment you said yes to the warning, the moment you believed the urgency, a door opened in the heavens, a new door with new blessings. And this door is not for everyone. It is only for those who survive the deception. You are one of them. And now God will begin to release divine restoration. For every delay she caused, acceleration. For every lie, favor. For every stolen opportunity, abundance. For every moment of confusion, peace that passes understanding. You are not just protected. You are positioned. The very woman who tried to block you will become the catalyst for your upgrade. Her betrayal has become your evidence. Her trap has become your testimony. Heaven has closed her chapter in your life, but your book is still open. And the pages ahead are written in glory, miracle, and divine multiplication. You were not just rescued. You were launched. You were not just spared. You were prepared. She set a trap. But heaven set you free. If you believe in God, type Amen. Archangel Michael says, I order you to open this urgently because heaven is not waiting anymore. There is a private meeting already arranged for you by someone you never expected, a secret admirer, but not just anyone. A powerful public figure, someone the world watches, someone people talk about, someone who has power, respect, and more resources than you could imagine. They have been watching you, not in a harmful way, but in awe, in wonder, in silence. You don't even know how much you've already changed this person's life. God says they've got something for you. Something divine, something sacred, something written in the story of your destiny. That's why you're reading this now. That's why heaven sent Archangel Michael to sound the trumpet over your spirit. This is not ordinary. This is a divine alert. Your life is about to shift. But God says first you must understand the depth of what is unfolding. This admirer, this powerful figure has been trying to reach you not through phone calls or social media, but through dreams, energy, divine nudges. They were drawn to you by something more than beauty, more than talent. They were drawn to your light, they felt your soul before they knew your face. And now heaven has opened the way for this meeting. It's already written. You can't see it yet, but angels have already begun the orchestration. Things are aligning. Schedules are moving. People are being instructed by the Spirit to speak your name in rooms you haven't even entered. Your moment is not coming. It has already begun. Archangel Michael is watching closely because this encounter is not just a romantic meeting. It is a divine assignment. There's something this powerful figure needs to tell you. Something they cannot say to anyone else because you are not like the others. You are not someone who came into their life by accident. You are someone chosen by heaven to be a divine interruption to their chaos. Your words, your prayers, your silence, your strength. It shook something deep inside them. Something they've been trying to hide.